Hello, everyone. How are you doing? Obviously, this is a guitar.
Oh, okay.
This is my choice of instrument. This is what I chose to play. How many of you play an instrument? Quite a few people. Doesn't matter what instrument you play. It's all the same. Really, music is the most universal language we have. So, like I said, I chose this. I actually wanted to play cello, but couldn't afford a cello, so I got a guitar. So that's actually one of my favorite instruments is the cello because of the range and the feel on it. So I spent a lot of time trying to imitate what I heard from the cello. So I practiced a lot of like volume stuff and practiced a lot of little. A lot of Baroque stuff I would listen to, a lot of Bach. Bach was one of my favorite composers because he was so technical, but yet he had so much feel too. So, whether you play an instrument or not, music is everywhere. You guys know that. You guys can hear sound. You have music's all around us. That's really what I want to say. When you wake up in the morning, there's sounds you hear in the morning. There's morning sounds, and those actually can create music if you really put your mind to it and listen. And then you have the sounds in the afternoon that you would hear people talking. And I've spent a lot of time trying to imitate stuff like that. I really didn't listen to a lot of guitar music. A lot of people were, back when I was growing up, they were listening to a lot of heavy metal was really big. Everybody had the long hair. I had long hair. Doesn't matter. But they were listening to these guitar players that just would, and I was just like, it has its place, right? It's music. But I spent a lot of time working on technique, and I was practicing up to 8 hours a day at one point. In the summertime, it would be more. That's why this guitar I got when I was in 11th grade, and you can see how much I practiced. I wore it. This is actually, I'll tell you a little about the guitar too, real quick. This is a 1957 Fender Stratocaster, so it's really old. A lot of the equipment I have is really old because I think the best sound comes from that aged wood. You can go into a music store and buy a Fender Strat. It's not the same. You'll never get that tone. It takes a while for that wood to age. It's like a wine. But anyway, the amplifier I have is a Marshall. You'll see this a lot when you watch MTV or bands, you go to see concerts. It is a choice of rock musicians. I like this amplifier a lot because you can actually clean it up pretty nice. And clean, I'll explain that to you. This is the 1971, so you guys don't even know what about. And it's tube, okay? As opposed to the new amplifiers that are solid state digital. This is all analog. This is back in the day when you used to play records like LPs. The best sound comes from analog. I know you guys are in digital music, so I have to be careful. But the way the analog works is a lot more natural. They've gotten very close with digital. If you look at a sound wave with analog, you'll see it. It's very natural, like a sound wave. With digital, it's square, and there's numbers that have to be programmed in there to kind of imitate that sound wave. So, you lose a little bit of that natural quality, but they've come very close, like I said. The thing about digital and solid state and the newer stuff, it's a lot more lighter, very light. It's more compact, right? And it's a lot more durable. I have to change tubes. There's actually tubes, like an old TV in here. I have to change tubes. There's a lot of maintenance to it. It's noisy. And if I take off the noise gate, you'll hear the noise. Let me tell you a little about the pedals that I have here. These pedals, you'll see a lot of musicians now with a multi-processor. And what that is one pedal with all of these in them. So it's like a very convenient way to compact everything. But again, what I think, my opinion is when you start to compact things, you lose sound. So the first pedal I have here, and I chose separate pedals, is called a noise gate. And if I take it off, you'll hear it get really noisy. If I turn up the volume and turn this on, you'll hear how noisy it is. But watch with it on, how much noise that takes off. So that's great in between songs. You don't have to worry about all the noise. So again, I go through that first. That blocks it out. What it is, it's a gate. So when I'm playing, you'll see if you can see the light, it opens. That light turns off, so the gate is open. And as soon as I stop playing, the gate shuts behind. So it's like a gate, like you would walk into a yard or something. The next effect I have is a delay, and you can hear it. What it does is it creates an echo. And as opposed to reverb, which is a whole other type of echo, this is actually digital. It actually imitates exactly what I did. So if I turn it up and really make it obvious, you can start to hear some of the things that it does. Doesn't stop at all. So anyway, you see kind of what that does. So I keep it at a point where it doesn't replicate itself so much. Try to keep it kind of low. And when I first started, some of the influences that I had, again, was always classical music, believe it or not. But as far as rock, I really got into a guitar player. His name was Eddie Van Halen. He still exists. He plays, and he had all these cool effects. And one of them was the delay. And nowadays, if you go on YouTube, you can find out what he's using. But back when I was starting, I was a student. I had to really read and talk to people, and it was fun to find the effects and try to figure out what he was doing. And I'll show you another effect. All right, so the next pedal I have is it's actually a loop pedal. I just bought this pedal. Actually, I bought it really for this class because I thought it would be cool to have as a tool, as a practicing tool as well. what this does is basically like a delay, but it actually records what you do, and then what you can do is you can layer on top of it. So it's like a little digital recorder, basically. So it's a cool tool to create music on your own, right? So this pedal, again, has an in and out, just like all the other ones. But if you, I recorded that earlier. Show you, let's see. What I want to do is take that and I'm going to layer a clean track over it. Let's see if we can get some cool chords over that. So what I'm going to do is show you how it actually layers. So we start off with this. Let's see if I can do something. Where is it? Where's the chords I just recorded? Do it. Let's see, let's try it again. You can start to develop a song. Robbie and I were talking, and the train went by, and I heard the horn on it. I said, "That's a major 6." And he looked at me like, "What?" But I can hear, you can start to hear and relate. The horn actually sounded like that when it beat. So you can start to relate everything to music. And whether you know theory or not, again, you can still apply this concept of developing music. See, music doesn't start from scales, arpeggios, and all this technique that I'm talking about, and cool effects, and a really cool guitar. Now, music starts with something very simple. It starts with something called a beat. And that's it. If you have a friend that says, "Oh, I like that tune, it has a cool beat to it, and I like that," it's not the beat they like, it's the rhythm. The beat is just this. This is the tempo that I chose. But then music is developed around what we call the beat. It's a pulse. That's it. So if you put anything within some sort of pulse, it's music, really. And it can be something as someone hammering on the side of a house, or or like I said, kids screaming. If you put that into what we call time, into the beat, it becomes music. And that's how you start to create music, by starting with something called the beat. Simple, right? Simple concept. What can you do with that? It's just there, it just sits there. See, now I'm going to do this. So you see people tapping their foot, right? You hear a drummer say 1, 2, 3, 4, and the band comes in. He's giving the tempo. That's how fast or slow that beat is going to be played. And depending on what you do, that's called rhythm, or the beat. Now watch. I'm playing right on the Now I'm playing rhythms over it. Back to that. Now I just chose a chord. It's still there. Right? No matter what I do, it's still there. So that's the whole concept of playing on a beat. And then, no matter how fast or slow you actually play that, it still has that. It's still there. You ready to rock? Alright.
So what did I miss? What did you talk about?
We talked about some of the pedals. I didn't get to the phaser or the wah.
Oh, you didn't do the phaser? Oh, yeah, do the wah pedal.
All right.
Yeah,
so
do the wah pedal.
all right, I'll skip the phaser. You guys can see.
Go like the,
Yeah. So one of the things I was talking about before, as far as searching for effects, I had to talk to people and read something that. But anyway, this is one effect that actually Eddie Van Halen used on a tune called Atomic Punks, and he had all these cool effects, and I was like, oh wow, how's he doing it? And again, a lot of their effects were modified. They had it built for them. But now what we have is all these signature series pedals that we can get, so it makes things a lot easier. You can simply go on YouTube and YouTube, Atomic Punks, or a song that you hear, an effect, whether it be Coldplay or something that you hear, and it's like, wow, that's really cool. They'll tell you everything from their gauge strings to their guitars to their shirt sizes. So it's, but anyway, here's the phaser, and I'll play that part. It's really beautiful music. I'll play that part for you. That was it. It was like, how's he doing that? And when I saw him live, Eddie Van Halen was very famous for turning around, not showing people. Clapton was famous for that too. These guys, they would figure something out and they didn't want to share it with anyone. But you heard me play a little bit with the phaser too on a clean side. What a phaser does, there's a sound wave that it sends out, and there's a knob that you can control how fast or slow that sound wave interferes with the actual sound that's happening. So if you take what it does, it picks up the natural sound from the guitar. That's what these do. Those are pickups. Those are like little microphones, and it changes it. And I can change the dial by speeding it up or slowing down. Okay, so. Gives you an idea. the other thing that Van Halen did in a song called. How many of you know even know who I'm talking about? Van Halen. Does anyone know who Van Halen is? Yeah, all right, good. In a song called "Ain't Talking About Love," he actually played this, and I'll just give you an example of what it sounds like when you mute the strings with this. Gives you an idea of what it sounds like when you mute it. All right, so the wah pedal, this pedal's been out for years. This is a really cool pedal that bands like Metallica brought back in the mainstream. It started really with a lot of Hendrix, a lot of funk players actually would play with that. You would get that you know that funky kind of. Let me turn the light, clean this up a little bit. Now this pedal you can control not by a dial but by your foot. This is changes the sound. I'll just play it single note. So, effects, what do? They enhance the music. They enhance the sound of the guitar. So, yeah, I'm the purist. I like the sound of the natural guitar, but you need some of these things. It's like having a hot dog just with mustard and not putting relish and maybe some celery salt, something to make it better. And you know, that's really food when you create. You can create even with food. I'm a big believer in that. I'll go to a restaurant and walk out if it's no good. All right. Enough of me rambling.
Did you you showed the loop pedal?
I did show that pedal.
Okay.
For those of you that didn't see it, I bought a new pedal. It's really cool. It's a Boss pedal. It's the RC3, brand new. The RC2 has been discontinued. You can record up to 3 hours of music with this thing, and that's what's really cool. So it's a real cool tool, practicing and creating music. And you can start really slow. Okay.
Loop pedals have been around for a while. You guys all know what loops are, since you work in GarageBand. Over the past few years, they've gotten a lot better. But that is one kind of pedal. It's about this big. They vary in size from that to
that's right.
almost the size of this whole pedal board with each switch, and each switch can store a number of loops that you create. What the industry has done is basically taken the concept of GarageBand and tried to put them in foot pedals so musicians can do things on the fly, live. If you go on YouTube and you put in Albeton, A-L-B-E-T-O-N-E, I think is how they spell it, that's a program that's designed to use it with your computer to do loops live, and you'll see people all over the world doing probably songs that you know and doing them themselves and adding different vocal effects. I think Mrs. Woodard has shown stuff like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. But anyway, what's great about that loop pedal, and also we're going to show you how you incorporate it with GarageBand, is if you are all by yourself and you don't have musicians with you and you want to jam, you can use these loops to create music background. This is something we did real quick, and I think half you guys were there at the door when we did it. We just threw in a couple of different drum kits. I don't know if you can see it. Different drum loops. I'm going to show you different ones. That one. This one. And we did this one. Now the reason we have 3 different drum sounds, or 3 different drum kits, or 3 different drum beats, whatever term you want to use, is we just created a simple form A section, B section loop with an intro. And I'm going to put you on the spot, and you can come up with something.
All right.
The key was A minor, tempo's around 120.
All right.
I have you talked about the loop function? The yellow bar, is that?
Cycle function, yes.
That's fine, okay. So I have the loop on, but if you look, I don't have it on the first 8. Because the intro I just want to happen once, and then I want it to loop the A-B section. We'll see if it works. I don't know if this version of Garage Band works. Alright, it doesn't do it in this version.
Just turn on the cycle. Start it, turn it off,
Yep.
and then turn it on when you touch it.
Alright, ready?
I think so.
You want to count in or no?
No, go ahead. I'll let it run.
Alright, the intro is 8. Ready? As long as we all stop it. So we could,
It's slide.
So we could do it. We could do another one on the fly and choose a different style. If you want to see the process. Is that a yes or a no? 6 minutes. All right.
6 minutes.
So let's
Oh my
let's.
God.
Yeah, I need a second.
Oh boy. Who wants to hear eruption? Play that one. Stairway to Heaven?
What key you want? What key do you want for this thing? What key you want this one?
You want to pick?
Whatever you want. Another
Let's
guitar
do-
key.
Let's do with that famous relative minor of G, E minor. That's a great guitar key.
Slow or fast?
You guys want it slow or fast? Of course! All that sugar and everything. It's all that youth. You want to see me sweat? Alright, what Robbie's talking about is this piece called Eruption. And it's a Van Halen song because it's Robbie's favorite band. What Eddie was doing back in, that album came out in '78. He started doing this thing called two-hand tapping. And did he create it? No, he made it popular. Guys like Eddie Van Halen, Yngwie Malmsteen, even a lot of, well, all the jazz players, right? They don't, again, back to what I was saying before about not imitating the guitar, Eddie Van Halen wanted to imitate piano. So what did he do? He took a chord on piano, and rather than play it like Stairway to Heaven chord, he actually tapped it. That's what he did. He took it and said, how can I... So he actually took a chord and started to spread it out on the guitar and did this tapping thing. So hence was this piece, do you want me to do this? Can I do this?
What's that? Eruption?
Yeah, go ahead. I can, so there was a section in there and that he taps, okay? And what it is, it's arpeggiated, broken chords. Arpa in Italian is harp, it's broken chords. So, there you go. How loud do you want it? Very. Who said 11? Who said 11?
Spinal tap.
That's good. Alright, let's see.
Sounds like I just look like an organ riff and bass line.
North.
Fast, but it's more like... What?
2 or 3 minutes.
2 or 3 minutes?
Alright. There you go, a little blues, a
Would
little...
you like a jazz thing?
Road
I mean, it doesn't change keys, it stays in E minor.
Okay.
It's not like a jazz thing.
Our player's dream.
I could just move the 8 measures.
Bloody Sunday.
It's A minor too. I gotta hear it.
You want to just do that? Open up the
YouTube 4.
No, this is the.
It's just
with this.
yeah, it's just an 8-measure thing. It's that total like 60s organ trio vibe. No stupid. So you ready before we start? Okay, got everything. We'll sign
who do
off
I?
with this. Want to say a little something before we start? Because this is it.
You know what? I gotta tell you, just in case, we gotta get you out of here while he's still playing. Can we just give him a round of applause for coming with me? It is such a pleasure, though, to see we hear so many of the sounds on the computer with the pre-recorded loops. But for you guys to have the privilege to be able to see somebody playing something live is awesome. So thank you so much for taking your time today to come. We might have you continue playing while we dismiss them. So this will be.
It's a great class,
I
guys.
think
Really pay
I think
attention.
out there that she class 2 maybe.